but we are cooler. A little breezy with gusts around.
Been there since he was 40. I mean, since he was 3. Been the crappy part of the job pretty fast.
I'm hanging on.
The most sought after food. Cooler found a solution.
Better VFL Junction. Hit it.
I'd say we earned a wet weekend like what's in store for us here today. And look forward to the next couple of days. Folks, welcome to Friday. Here Friday. Let's bring us into the second Friday. Between this time for a visit from our friend from Zoo Knoxville. Eric and I were talking about baseball caps earlier, Phil, and how we buy them, we love them, but cooler ones especially, we rarely wear them. But man, I'm digging the hat you got today.
It's faded kind of yucky now. It's Zoo uniform, actually. It says Zoo Knoxville students.
Yeah, and it's a... You got the TriStar logo on there. You got the silhouette of a bear with like a sunset and water kind of thing going on too, man.
Yeah, you got that good hair. Yeah, we always wear it.
Dude, I'm hanging on for dear life to what I've got.
I made about 30 years ago.
Did you? Now, you shave? You shave your hair?
Well, God shaved it for a while. Now I do it my own. Every Thursday night.
It feels like I'm coming to talk about the zoo, man, not all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm sure it's been a tough week for a lot of you, or all of you at the zoo, and maybe many of your visitors as well, as Tonka, which was described as the largest male elephant in North America, last remaining elephant at Zoo Knoxville, was humanely euthanized on Wednesday. Phil, it seemed like this came out of nowhere. What led to this?
Yeah, so we're always looking at, I mean, I said this last time, we look at full life care of these animals from the moment they hatch or are born. We look at what it's going to take to give them the quality of life that they need throughout their full lives. And the end chapter of that sometimes is euthanasia. You always say you don't want their last day to be their worst day. So we've been doing, as we do with all of our aging animals, we've been doing welfare assessments every single day. This is a quantitative document that looks at things from diet to the way they move and what they do. We do focal assessments. We're looking at swishes of tails, and I mean, it is amazing what we look at to make sure that we're in the right place at the right time to make the right decisions about their lives, whether that be the end or the beginning. So, yeah, 2 Sundays ago, went downhill pretty fast. He came up lame, wasn't moving well. We immediately had vets come there, look at him, assess the situation. We had him on his maximum ethical dose of medication. Before he gets a little weird, starts messing up his stomach, starts messing up his kidneys without getting into too much detail, and we were maxed out on that. And it was obvious he was not going to recover from that. So we went into full-on hospice care with him, and that looks like much like it does with people, making them comfortable, making minute-to-minute decisions on the way it needs to go. And we arrived at that this week, and it's no matter how prepared you are for it, it sucks. It's really, really crappy part of the job, but it's also a really honorable part of the job. It's something that you're proud of yourselves when you're finished afterwards, and the team that supported him is the most incredible elephant care team in the world. It's not to mention their abilities by their gender, but they are small little ladies that are the strongest mentally and physically people I've ever met in my life. And I'm so proud of them from day one to the last day we had.
Yeah, that's just the reality.
I mean, that's the way there's no way to miss those words. It really does. Yeah, we're on the other side of it, as far as the other side of it we can be right now, and moving forward and doing this right way.
Yeah, Tonka was 46 years old. How long had he been in Zoo Knoxville?
He had been there since he was 40. Since he was 3. I think like 43 years. So yeah, I've been there 39 years coming this fall. So he was there my whole career. He was there a whole bunch of people's careers, just kind of an icon. Yeah, it's a big part of the one big giant building right now.
Okay, I've been thinking, and I think we can all agree that getting gas...
I didn't get him to the Elephant Sanctuary in Hohenwald, Tennessee. Is it better that it played out like this, where he was in familiar surroundings?
Yeah, you know, there was a time when, like, we're thinking, and we're still thinking that, we're wishing he would have made it there, but we wouldn't allow him to spend a bunch of time.
Yeah.
The fact that we came to this decision
All right.
and this
Find
time
me
in his
against
life,
Thor.
and he was surrounded by the people he knew and the barn that he knew, with the vets that he knew was comfortable with, without having to get used to the new keepers. Not that we wouldn't have sent our new keepers
You know
there
the deal.
the rest of his life too, here and there. But yeah, there's some comfort knowing that it happened with him here, and it takes a really healthy, mobile,
Mostly
prepared
guns. I
to
got
make a
whatever you need.
transport like that, even if it's only six hours away. So it was obvious he was not prepared for that. We did not let that. I understand that. So yeah, it's been a tough, been a really tough.
I'm sure there are many tears shed by his caretakers.
Yeah, absolutely. His caretakers, he was a community icon. I'm getting such wonderful support from the community, and thanking us for doing him the way we did him. And yeah, but there hasn't been a dry eye on the zoo grounds all week long, and it's a hard thing, but it's a necessary thing. And it's the job we signed up for, and we know we signed up for it, and it's not a great part of it.
Well, certainly sorry to hear the news, but what's next? You know, the enclosure. I know you've already started making some long-term plans once talk of was moved. What's next?
Right. So we're going to introduce the Southern White Rhino group there. And that was, we always do collection. We know these animals aren't going to live forever, so we always have a look down the road, at least 10 years, the way we want to do things. We've got a long history of Southern White Rhinos. We've had, I think, 28 of them born at Zoo Knoxville, which at the time, the last birth was the most in the United States. And that's a critically endangered animal in the wild. So we're really good at Southern White Rhinos. People love to see them. And if you've not seen a baby rhino, don't stop what you're doing. Stop looking. But as soon as work's finished, go Google baby.
See you there.
I mean, why don't you find it rough? I mean, you Google that or see one in real life, and it just melts your heart. It's nothing but legs and ears and feet and trips and falls.
Yeah.
They're watching cartoons, honestly.
They're somehow big and small all at the same time.
They are. It's so unbelievably awkward. So we're really looking forward to getting back into that.
See you around.
Yeah.
And when do you expect that to be part of Zoo Knoxville?
We're going through a grieving period right now. There's a lot of exhibits. Modifications are going to happen, and so we're just getting on it immediately. I mean, immediately by the next week or two, we'll start making modifications to that barn. We chose that barn because obviously it's a way over.
So, since you haven't killed me yet, I'm guessing you're...
Impressions from reflection off the left side of the amen, and modified the inside of the barn is going to look a little different. So yeah, we're getting right on.
When we come back, I want to ask you about the selection process for the animals that are at Zoo Knoxville, and really most of the groups across the country, and also the role of today's zoo. What does that look like? Phil Conklin, Zoo Knoxville. We'll be back on Yard Row with more in just a moment.
There's some spotty rain developing at times midday.
You seal it all the way through.
Phil Conklin.
Top 3 and 3. Triple H Radio Experience, News Talk 98.7 WOKL.
Today here on Yard Row, he'll join us every second Friday of the month just to talk about what's happening at Zoo Knoxville and really kind of get a great insight as to how the zoo operates day to day. You mentioned a second ago you're going to work to get some white rhinos in the zoo enclosure, kind of remodel it, get some white rhinos in here. How do you go about actually locating animals to place in a zoo?
Sure. So we're an accredited zoo by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. So that's kind of the cream of the crop of licensed exhibitors. It's like 10% of people. So with the AZA accredited zoos, we've got this network of zoos across the United States that has a lot of species. We try to maintain the genetics of these populations under human care exactly like their wild counterparts, which in a nutshell means we don't want to inbreed. So that there, at any given moment, you know, there could be southern white rhino at Zoo Knoxville and southern white rhino at San Diego Zoo, and the species survival plan says, hey, those are genetically dissimilar enough, and they've reached sexual maturity. You need to get them together, whether that be at Zoo Knoxville or at San Diego. So there's always animals kind of changing hands. And any zoo you go to in the United States doesn't necessarily mean that they quote unquote own these animals. They can be on loan or breeding loan or donations from other zoos. So we look at the level of expertise of our staff. We look at the facilities that we have. Much like the master planning of physical buildings, we have a long-term collection plan too. My curator team and myself are always looking at, you know, what do we need to do to save animals from extinction? I mean, these zoos aren't places where you just go to for your money to see a monkey in a cage. I mean, we are working with the genetics of these animals. And in some cases, they're going to be extinct in the wild. And that might be the last genetic stronghold for some of these animals that are in care or in these ACA programs.
Is that the primary role of the zoo today?
It is, in my opinion. Obviously, in order to do that, takes funding. And in order to have funding, we have to have people come to the zoo and enjoy themselves. So, I mean, there's a whole business aspect where people come and enjoy themselves, freely spend their money, and because huge chunks of that money go to these conservation efforts. So yeah, I mean, when you buy a snowflake, people always tell me, how can I help save animal A from extinction? Come buy a snowflake, buy a zoo membership, come to the zoo, and that money gets funded in the right places.
Get rid of bulkheads. That's exactly yes. Exactly. You know,
I'm on the clock. What you want? Some wheels?
Think about it from that perspective.
It's on the way.
Curating and saving a species that it could be the last year on Earth.
It feels good. Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, black-footed ferrets, California condors, lots of little invertebrates, lots of reptiles have been saved from extinction by zoos and actually been re-released back into the wild.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
Is it fair to say that there is a legit reason for every animal inside a zoo? So whether it be a rehab chase, whether it be extinction, something like that.
Absolutely. We don't ever read anything by accident. You know, it's no secret. When we have a gorilla birth, that's going to generate attendance. That's going to generate money. That's going to generate people coming to the zoo. And we, of course, will advertise that like crazy once we have it. But that animal is never bred to do that. You know, I mean, it's a byproduct of getting people there. Like, we're you know, if we have a breeding recommendation, again, the species survival plan, we do. And again, we don't do it by accident because we've got limited real estate. We're on 52 acres there at the zoo, and there's only so much you can do. And our climate dictates it too.
You don't just have an animal in the zoo just because you want to have that particular animal.
Just because it's
there's a reason.
Yeah, and there's, you know, there's a lot of overlap with that. That there, my interpretation of cool might be different than someone else's interpretation. I mean, I like little weird bugs, dude. But sometimes you can make those little weird bugs really interesting. And you sure can. Or snakes even. Right, bugs?
I've always said I'm terrified of snakes, but I'm absolutely fascinated.
Yeah, so I've heard you say that, and me and my no-shoulder friends appreciate it.
Well, that's something that I've always found interesting. And then this Tennessee's climate. How does that affect your selection or your ability to have certain?
It does say, for example, if we want to do...
It's coming at you.
You know, we can do polar bears, but it's going to cost us 200 times more than it would cost to go for doing polar bears. You know, so we got to look at it. It requires chillers, giant water filtration and pools, that sort of thing. That's a cool example of our climate of something that works really well. We're known for our red panda breeding. We've bred more red pandas at Zoo Knoxville than anywhere else in the world outside of China. And East Tennessee lies in the exact same latitude of where those pandas compare to China. So our climate really dictates our success as well as our expertise of how well we do with pandas. In fact, and we will not do this Smoky Mountains National Park. You're listening, but if you took a group of pandas, planted some bamboo on the national park, I promise you they would do fine. They would do best. We won't do it. It's not going to be a basic speech. great fossil site from Junction City. Google that again, dude. Now, within a minute. And there were red pandas that occurred here in East Tennessee so many years ago. They're finding that they were giant red pandas. I mean, they're not little like raccoon-sized red. They're gigantic red pandas. There's these big box turtles in that big up there that are 80, 90 pounds. So that's the exact same turtle that we have when they found now. So if you found some great fossil site, stop what you're doing and go do that. That is the coolest thing that accidental TDOT did. They were building a road there and started unearthing like a sloth that rhinos. And yeah, if you ever want somebody really cool on your radio show, maybe I'll bring him with me one day as a curator of that place. We'll
Get him in. Let's spend an hour talking about this.
we will do that. I'll reach out to him. He's awesome. Really, really cool.
What the fuck are you
You assign
doing?
caretakers to
I'm out
the
of ammo.
animals. What goes into that process, and how much of the animal attitude toward that person have a play in the role?
Yeah, so there's a level of expertise for sure. I mean, you see people stuff to grass
Why
divided
did you do
in
that?
groups of their interests. You really have bird-centric people, you have reptile-centric people, you have carnivore-centric people. It's like the Chevy Ford thing sometimes. It's like, oh, I mean, nerds. I could bring up people but they have an inherent interest in what they're working with, so there's some overlap with some of that. And there seems to not be with some of it, but yeah, and it comes from prior experience in other organizations. We have seasoned keepers that have come from other organizations that have cutting edge husbandry experience with state bears. We're not going to put them in there with snakes. Sure, if they've got all the
They just apply a little common sense. Yeah, it sounds like. But you were telling me that some of the animals sometimes they either like their caretaker or they may not like a certain person.
There's bias for sure, especially from the higher animals of higher intelligence, like some of our great apes. Like there's one of our chimpanzees, Lou, that doesn't particularly like all greyhounds. You're right, Paul's the gray bearded guys. And I don't know if that's an experience from the past. There's some real gender bias, especially with great apes and elephants. We're one of our gorillas does not like men in particular. And whenever we receive an animal from another institution, not only do we get medical records, we get personality profiles. They say, hey, just so you know, this one does not like whatever you can put doesn't do really well with men. So tread lightly if you're a keeper in that area and you're a man, and build that bond a little heavier than you maybe would with somebody else, which is usually pretty easy to do. But yeah, who knows what their biases are? And it could be, fingernail polish,
Something simple.
yeah,
Just like you.
yeah, one of our chips large points. Got the book, got chocolate, you want by, you just looks at your toenails, a bunch of toenails on the ladies who take care of them. It's just, and you stumble upon these things sometimes. Like, oh, man, really likes toenails. Really likes red.
That's
They
insane.
hate blue toenails. So you're spending all day long with these animals. So
Get him a laptop and an internet connection. Let's see if he can set up a website and monetize this, okay?
that's not far from what happens sometimes.
We were mentioning bees here on the show not too long ago, and you got some things you wanted to add to that conversation.
Well, I keep bees at home too, so I've got that. Dude, it's just cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool there. I mean, anybody that keeps bees that does it just for the honey is going to be sorely disappointed. It's going to give you hell. Because if you truly sell that honey for what you have into it, labor and equipment wise, it'd be $90 a jar. So there's got to be a different kind of love about it. I really love the organisms. I love the social interaction of the bees. And I mean, again, exposing my nerdness. I will lay under my beehive and look up at the sky and watch their pollination patterns. You can tell, oh, there must be some clover movement over in this field. There must be something this time of year that moves over here. You can kind of watch it, and again, it's like it's nerd TV. But yeah, so I mean, I would always encourage people to plant native pollinator gardens in their yards. It's really, really beautiful. It helps our bees. And that's all pollinators. So yeah, we do that at the zoo. We have pollinator gardens at the zoo, and so we manage invertebrates as well as pickles.
We had a question from the text line from Nathan. I was wondering if there's any plans to bring back camels or penguins, and what's the best time to see the bears? They're always hiding when they show up.
Great question. So camels. You probably referring to camel rides. We actually did camel rides at the zoo for it. I mean, that just started to not feel right. They were very, very well cared for, and they're labor animals anyway. And they got old. We started not to do that anymore. Bear viewing, sometimes the worst times and humans' minds to come to do the best times for the animals. Winter time is fantastic for our bears. When it's really hot or really cold, give our bears access to dens. We've got temperature parameters where we allow them to come in and out if they're in the air condition. But it's a pretty complicated exhibit. Sometimes someone will say, there's no bears in there, and I'll walk up to them. There's that bear. And, yeah, there's a third part to that question. I'll start.
The third part of the question was, what's the best time to see the bears? They're always hiding.
Right. Yes, it was the penguins, I think. I just did the bear thing. Ripley's does penguins really, really well. The Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga does penguins really, really well. We're surrounded by really, really good penguins. And at the time, we moved those penguins actually to penguins. Whenever we decided to take a different direction with that facility, and those were African penguins we have, and we will master plan and redo Africa someday, probably bring penguins back. Believe it or not, most penguins are not cold weather animals. Most of them are tropical or subtropical.
We've been lied to our whole lives.
And they do look like they're shivering. Chili Willy, Blacktails, all of these. There are some cold weather penguins for sure, but
not all of them.
But most of them are not.
I love it. Well, folks, I think what you're learning, along with us here, is Nautical, there's more to it than just putting out a bucket of feed and making sure the animals have water. This is 24/7, 365, and there's a purpose behind everything and every decision that's made. Phil, appreciate your curiosity, appreciate your knowledge, and always look forward to having you here on the show.
So fun. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you letting us be here.
Zoo, Knoxville. Man, we're getting some. It's a great weekend weather-wise to get on that.
Come to the zoo.
Go see what they got.
The bears will be on view.
Love it, Phil. Thank you much, man. We'll see you next month here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, buddy. Jason Zachary, Knoxville representative. We're going to talk with him about a lot of school districts that are opting out of allowing their employees to carry guns on campus. Back with Jason in just a moment.
Whether you're in Athens, Tennessee, or Athens, WOKI.
Happy day here on Young Road. Beautiful Friday. By the way, your ticket flyaway keyword for the midday is week. 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 Text the word week to 95819 to qualify. All expense paid trip to the concert of your choice in the city of your choice. Thank you, Live Nation. Check out the livenation.com. They got a great sale going on there. $25 concert tickets as Concert Week is underway. So many folks logged on for Concert Week on day one of this. They crashed the site, but it's since back up and running. And week is your midday keyword. Triple H will have week. Final keyword later this afternoon, and then we'll know the grand prize winner on Monday. And of course, we'll announce it then. Knox County Board of Education passed a resolution Thursday affirming school resource officers and other security officers will be the only armed personnel on school campuses, despite a new Tennessee law that now allows teachers and other employees of the school to conceal carry on school grounds. This is legislation that just recently passed in Nashville, but already several school districts have opted out and say they will not allow school employees to conceal carry on the school grounds. Representative Jason Zachary supported school employees carry. He joins us now on 5 Yard. Representative, I'm surprised to hear that school districts have quickly said we're going to do this.
That is unfortunate because you got to understand the landscape in Tennessee. All counties are not as fortunate as Knox County to have an SRO every school. Like in my district here at high school, we have, I think, 3 or 4 SROs, armed officers in our school. Every Knox County school has at least one. So most counties are not as fortunate as Knox County. We have over 500 open SRO positions around the state, from Memphis to Mountain City. And so you have rural communities. One legislator in particular told us it takes 23 minutes for officers to respond to an incident at one of his smaller schools. And so people who are against this are saying, well, it's okay that those schools don't have a way to protect themselves. Those of us as legislators think that's completely unacceptable. And we passed this legislation in a responsible way. It requires you to already have an enhanced carry permit. You have to take 40 hours of school security training. You have to go through a background check. You have to do a mental health assessment, and you have to have the approval of the superintendent. In our case, would be the sheriff and the principal. And so there is no forcing anyone to carry. This is completely voluntary. Where we have former military and people who are trained with firearms in schools throughout the state. And if they step up and say, you know what, I will not allow my school to be open in a completely gun-free zone, if a bad guy comes in here to do bad things, and they can go to prison, they can work with the superintendent and sheriff, they can go through this long process, get approved, and it will be concealed carry. And so there's this misconception that nobody's forcing anyone to do anything. It is an option for teachers and schools to protect themselves if they do not have an SRO. I think it's I think it's extremely unfortunate when school boards who don't have a say in the process, mind you. That is not in the legislation. They're passing resolutions, which means nothing. A resolution is not binding. A resolution means nothing, saying that we will not provide this option for our schools. Just the threat of having it as an option is a deterrent. We shouldn't be having conversations about school security in the public. I know I talked to Susan Warner, our school board, this morning, and they do have the ability to talk privately and meet privately without violating sunshine laws regarding school security. Those conversations should be private. You don't want anybody to know security protocols in school.
Sure. Well, are you saying that what the Knox County Board of Education, the resolution passed Thursday, which says, hey, we don't want this in our schools, are you telling me that doesn't have any teeth?
No, Bob, a resolution is not binding. The only thing that is binding, like for us, is a bill that we pass. A resolution is just a strong encouragement or strong suggestion. A resolution on the local level, then state or federal, is not binding. It's just a resolution with the intent of the legislative body. It's not binding. And so, no, it's just saying.
It could still say, yeah, okay, thanks for that input, but we're going to leave this anyway. Okay. If the legislature wasn't written to where, for instance, you mentioned Farragut, they got a handful of SROs there, but some schools out in the country don't. Is it all or nothing for a school superintendent, or can they say, okay, Farragut, you don't need this, so it's not allowed there, but a school out in the country might need it, so it can do this? Is it written that way, or is it an all or nothing?
No, that's exactly it, Bob. It's a school-by-school, teacher-by-teacher case. And so, again, let's just pick a random thing. We're not even close to this. Tipton County, you've got a school in the middle of nowhere. They do not have the resources for an SRO, and they have no one on site to protect their children if something happens. Just like happened in Nashville, the secure on site, the demonic person who shot up the lady who shot up that school said that she did not pick the mall because she knew there was security there, and she chose Covenant because it was an easy target. So so it's okay for a school in Tipton County to be completely unprotected as long as those of us in these urban areas where most of this backlash comes from, all our kids are protected because we have armed schools and we have tight security. But you're saying a rural community should not have the ability to protect itself? That's completely unacceptable, and that's why back in 2016, I was in the legislature, we voted, most people have realized this, we voted to allow teachers to carry in distressed counties. There was an approval process they had to go through, and there's been no incident. And I talked about that on the House floor. This has been on the books since 2016 in distressed counties. At the time, there were 21 distressed counties. Nobody knows who's carrying, what teachers are carrying. But some of those schools in distressed counties have the ability now to have the ability since 2016 to protect themselves. We simply gave it complete statewide application because in 2024, we're in a very different
All right.
than we were
I'll get the uniforms and van cleaned up once you've dropped them off. It'll all be looking super profesh when you're ready to report for duty. Get it? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done, I swear.
If you got your former military, that's a teacher, you can come as a principal, they can go through the process, he can get the training, get the approval, and just that one school, that one teacher will be able to conceal carry.
I have looked across the nation. There's a handful of states, or several states actually, that have this across school districts, and I've looked for an incident where an employee concealed carrying on a school campus, something negative happened, whether they lost control of the whatever it might have been. And I can't find anything. Am I missing anything? Are you aware where this situation has led to something that didn't go well?
Yeah, good question. So from my understanding, the number is fluctuated, but it is over 25 states allow their teachers to carry now. And so there have been incidents. I've seen reports and I've seen articles.
All the employees at the Diamond have different security clearances based on what they do. But since we're trying to get into the podium storage, one of the valet guys is going to be our target. Let's pay him a visit.
In terms of an incident where someone was injured, we did not find it. And you've got 5 states across the country. Some reports had it as high as 32, but just to be safe, I'm not exaggerating the point. At least 25 states across the country, some of these super crackdown states allow teachers to carry because we want both.
Representative Jason Zachary, you guys just wrapped up a session a few weeks back. Some of the highlights from that session in your eyes?
Yeah, Bob, a bunch of great things were done. The most important thing for us is we always have a balanced budget, $52.8 billion budget, no new tax increases. We have one of the largest tax cuts in Tennessee history, and no new debt. I mean, that's a huge, huge deal because the borrower is slave to the lender, because the economy with economics is on just a rocky state. Inflation continuing to still be high. It's important our state has no debt, and that we have a healthy emergency fund, which we do. We passed one of the strongest parental rights bills in the country to protect parents' rights when it comes to their children. Again, parents should have the final say, not some school, not some other person that's arbitrary. Good parents should have the final say. Their kids. We've knocked out ESG. We prohibited central bank digital currency. We passed a bill to prohibit children from being trafficked either through abortion or for transition surgery for a minor, someone other than a parent doing that to a child. Again, man, so many great things done. And you can go to my Twitter account. I've got the list of the top 25 that we passed. I don't know if I can read it to you, but you go to my Twitter account, Jason Zachary TN, or J Zachary TN, and it shows the top 25.
All right, Representative Jason Zachary, wanted to get your reaction to a handful of school districts saying, or at least the boards, saying we're not going to allow these concealed carries on our school grounds. And appreciate you offering a little more than that. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care. So according to the representative, Knox County Board of Education passed the resolution saying we don't want this on our school campuses. We don't want employees concealed carrying on school campuses. And it's just a suggestion that if the superintendent decides that these schools, maybe located in the country, can do this, then they can do it. And it doesn't have any teeth. I don't know that I fully understood it. Appreciate the time, Representative. All right. We're going to wrap things up in just a few moments. If we've got time, we'll hit a few phone calls. I've got real fake headlines coming up. I also want to hand out for Mother's Day. This will be a great Mother's Day present. A variety of Old South candy fudge. And if you heard last week when we were at Old South Candy, they're at 7146 Maynardville Pike in Knoxville. Man, it is good stuff. They got vanilla walnut, unicorn, cotton candy, sugar-free orange cream, sugar-free chocolate walnut, strawberry cheesecake, Rocky Road, peanut butter, chocolate, on and on and on. Let's give this out to caller 10 at 865-656-2946. Caller 10, you'll grab the Old South Candy Fudge for Mother's Day, and we'll wrap things up when we come.
We actually set a few degrees below average. Your high today, 72 degrees. With isolated rain and isolated local thunder can pop up spotty through your afternoon. Gusts around 20 miles per hour. Tonight, the sky clear. Some areas of fog develop with a cooler low of 47. From the BLT Virtual Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
You're listening to Yarborough from the Broken Financial Studio on News Talk 98.7 WOKI. The one-stop source for news, weather, and traffic, and talk all day, all night. News Talk 98.7 WOKI.
Amish Elegance Furniture, beautiful furniture, finely crafted furniture, customized furniture. Wow, how's that? Yeah, you sit down with Angie or any of the other wonderful sales crew there at Amish Elegance Furniture, and you let them know what you want in a piece of furniture. They get to work.
Your name, your reliable news connection. News Talk 98.7.
But it's a great gift. You got a variety of ones, and they got all kinds of selection there at Old South Candy, 7146 Maynardville Pike, OldSouthCandy.com. It's a good way to go. Before we get into real fake headlines, take a few calls while we got some time here. Marty, good morning. Welcome in, sir.
Hello, Bob. It's good to talk to you as always.
Well, thank you. Good to have you on.
I just curious about Jason Zachary's bill and his comments. Why is all our efforts, all of them issues, why are they all oriented towards the front steps of the school? I don't know, I don't think I read anything about there being an outpouring from the public about let's have armed teachers. I do remember reading some articles and some polls about some common sense gun control, which our legislature refuses to handle, even discuss.
Marty, in the interest of we're short on time, let me ask you, what bill, what law would you like to see passed that would make a difference when it comes to mass shootings?
I guess I'm asking that it be moved away from the schools front step and just the common sense.
Like common sense in what way?
Well, that's where it's a black hole. I'm not the elected official. I'm looking at what their mandate has been in polls, in conversation, and that type of thing. If they want to just tackle the easy stuff, let me have the phone number to the legislature that wants to tackle the hard stuff. I don't have the answer. It's not one problem. It's multi-problem. And it's not just Tennessee, it's nationwide.
I would agree with you.
I'm retired military, so I am not anti-God. Any stretch of the imagination. But I am pro common sense. And I just don't see the need for this guy.
Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that. And again, we're short on time, so I want to get Richard's call in here just a quick second. I will tell you this. Anytime you got a mass shooting, how many laws are violated? News. Whether it's at a school, whether it's at a bar, whether it's at a church, wherever it is, numerous laws are violated. So I would like to hear what law is going to change that. If I had a daughter, and my youngest rather, is about to graduate high school, and if she texted me one day and said there's someone with a gun running through the building shooting, I would want her teacher to have a weapon. That's the first I hate that we're at a society where this is something that even has to be discussed, but we are. But in that moment, I would want someone around her to be able to fight back. I think a lot of, and I get the concerns with this, but I think a lot of folks don't want teachers to have weapons until they need to have a weapon, and then it's way too late. Richard, good morning. Welcome in.
Hey, welcome. Hey, two things. One, I don't understand why any elected politician, i.e. the school board, would refuse to protect students with teachers armed with training and guns. I just don't understand it. And the simple answer to the previous caller is, all you have to do is make a law that all criminals have to follow the law, and then enforce that. But no one's been able to get a criminal to follow the law.
Richard, good points. Thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. I'll go a step further. If you're not going to allow this in your school system, you're not going to choose. Don't tell everybody. If you come out and say, hey, we're not going to allow teachers to conceal carry, then you just told everybody you're so yeah, that's great. So,
I think that was Representative Zacharias. I think that was his point about we shouldn't be having this public discussion about who's got protection and who doesn't.
the unknown is sometimes a good thing. Buddy, I know you've got a surgery coming up next week and you'll be out for a while. We love you, appreciate you, and
We should look into so you, Robin, and I'm going to fish you and all of the listeners next week.
I want to keep folks up to date on this. Let's do one little real big headline.
Real big headline.
Woman somehow able to feel God's love without writing lengthy Instagram posts about it.
Real big headline.
Donald Trump completely obliterates prosecution with timely use of the reverse card.
Real big headline.
That's a Uno joke. Stormy Daniels offers hush money to courtroom sketch artist to please stop trolling her. They're not doing a good job of that. That's a real. And latest gasp, President Biden signs an actual guy who's named Bill. He signed a bill. Brother, best of luck to you next week. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you back Monday at 10 here on Yarborough.
Who is it?
Very funny, honey. I know you can see me on your phone. It's Scott with his security technology.
Doorbell cameras offer so many advantages besides taunting your spouse. Our Wi-Fi doorbell provides for check on traffic.
Good medicine. So if you're tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkupp is a pioneer in the field, 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing. He wants to get you moving with a needle, not a knife. Call for a free consultation, 865-238-4799. 865-238-4799 for QC Kinetics.
The source for award-winning news. News Talk 98.7 WOKI-FM, Clover Springs, Knoxville.
Afternoon. It's 3 o'clock, 71 degrees, mostly cloudy skies in Knoxville. I'm Robin Travers on News Talk 98.7 WOKI. News in a moment, but first let's head right to the roads for a check on traffic with Sherry Bigler.
Robin, you're doing a pretty good job on the interstate as far as wrecks. We have no interstate wrecks spotted at this time, but you are all ready to get into slow down for you westbound to out of downtown. Westbound past Pellissippi and Level Road. Eastbound past Watt Road on up around Campbell Station, and a little bit slow going as well eastbound past Cedar Bluff. You're also bogging down on sections of Emory Road, approaching I-75 from both directions. Chapman Highway southbound out of downtown on out around Colonial Village, and on Kingston Heights in Farragut. Heads up in and around all of the active school zones. When you need a lawyer, you need a Marine, a UT graduate, a real Knoxville law firm. Marcos Garza is that attorney. Garza Law is a true East Tennessee law firm. And for Pete Michaels, I'm Sherry Bigler, live News Talk 98.7.
Big Sherry. The UN General Assembly votes over.
Want to join me, Grand Theft Auto 5 Online?
Palestinian statehood today. Speaking before the vote, Israeli UN Ambassador Gilad Erdan says the decision was a betrayal of the UN's mission.
Today you are gutting the charter, and you are doing it in the wake of the most brutal massacre of my people since the Holocaust.
The resolution also dropped the requirement for a potential nation to be peace-loving and calls for the UN Security Council to grant statehood to the Palestinian territories, which consist of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. It comes amid the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas.
Never mind. The guests are treated when they show up. Thank you for 1,500.
What?
Another 1,500 can survive.
I was listening to the radio. I know you're doing me.
More by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast. Wherever you listen.
Accurate weather report you can count on. These news talk 98.7 WOKI. Buckle up. It's drive time. The Howard Hilton Wheel Show starts. Let me get these hands together. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to this Saturday that's never been lived before. It's a blank canvas, if you will it. So it can be your masterpiece. Here's how you do the afternoon. Think of 3 things for which you're grateful. And then do the afternoon with all the joy, wonder, enthusiasm, and gratitude you can muster. Hashtag PYG, turn it up. Hello, everyone. How are you doing this afternoon? How y'all doing? Oh boy.
Let's see.
First a song. Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer leaf. That is what I truly like to be. As if I were an Oscar Mayer leaf. And everyone would be. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect
No, I die.
harmony. I like to give up and down and keep them company. It's the real thing. You know what I mean? Lost the lyrics to that one. I'll try this. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The love boat. Soon we'll be making another run. The love boat. Promises something for everyone. Santa. Course for adventure, your mind on a new road. Let's see what else we got. Beans don't burn in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. Too cold out to Ryan just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. Long as you live Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're moving on to the east side.
Do a deluxe apartment in the sky. Moving on
Hallelujah.
to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Somebody's feeling good today, Triple H.
There's another one.
You see, it always says my 70s favorites.
6 theme songs. And then there's Mom. And then there's Mom. And then there's Mom. And then it's again. And then there's how to bring it together, bring it together. Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls, all of them heading her gold, like their mother, the other morning girls. Till the one day when this lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group was some help for my family. That's the way they all became the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. That's the way they became the Brady Bunch. Sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a baseball trip that started on this tropic isle aboard this tiny ship. Aboard this tiny ship.
The rest of the words.
The ship set sail on the skipper, brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day on a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was lost. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost.
The ship struck shore. It struck round
with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary. Here Gilligan's
Chris, I think he's drinking on the air today. Houston, we have a problem.
Good afternoon, Robin.
Good afternoon, Triple H.
I guess it's going to be one of those days. I don't know, something got a hold of me.
Something definitely got a hold of you.
Thank you for the assist. I do appreciate it, and great to talk to you today. Let me say good afternoon to Christopher David D. Wayne, a.k.a. Little Daddy, a.k.a. Shock 2, a.k.a. the Golden Grudge, a.k.a. the trolling controller of this broadcast, a.k.a. Skinny Minnie, a.k.a. Hey You Kids, a.k.a. the Elder Abused, Mary.
Hi.
Howard.
Yeah.
Hi. I listened to a couple of those lyrics, quite a few of them. You told me a couple. What was the theme song to the Partridge Family?
Oh, dang.
Bro.
I'd have to look it up.
You know, they had a really good one, Green Acres. Green Acres had a great one, Petticoat Junction. Say any one of them. Green Acres is the place for me.
Nope. Messed up the first line.
How'd it go?
B.
That's what I was going to say.
Then you got to go to the Green Acres is the place to be. Living is the life for me.
Oh, Chris, go.
Land
Spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. It's where I went on this right. Allergic smelling hay. I just adore penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
And the Grammy is
Thank you. Robin Thomas is giving me the standing ovation.
Now who's drunk? I guess we all got a little nip before we get up in here.
on the news side. I started off doing that on the news side.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. That's the opening to the show today, and I guess you...
Brought to you by MeTV. Okay.
Right.
This report is sponsored by Tire Rack. Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. For one day, hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
The volume is continuing to build on the interstate, all the usual places. You're also starting to bog down now northbound Broadway through Fountain City, on up in the Halls Crossroads, on Kingston Pike through Farragut, also on North Shore Drive through Rocky Hill and around Kingston Pike. Also heads up in and around all of those active school zones. Sleep with the Sharks and Sips and Sharks is for adults on May 18th and June 15th at Ripley's Aquarium. You must be 21 for this one. Visit Ripley's Aquarium at thesmokies.com to reserve. Cheer, even for Michael's traffic.
As clouds increase, temperatures go down throughout the evening hours. We're down to 47 by the time we wake up on Saturday. From WPLT First Alert Weather Center, meteorologist Kyle Granger.
You're listening to Triple H from the Brogan Financial Studio.
WOKI. One of the things that I really respect, enjoy, love is I love being able to be connected enough to my local community that I can pick up the phone and I can talk to a real person and I can find value, I can make something happen. When it comes to insurance, you can go with any kind of company, really. But it's great when you have somebody that's headquartered right here in East Tennessee that does everything in insurance you would need: home, auto, business, life, health, Medicare. Madison Insurance Group has been here in this community since 1976. I heard somebody say the other day, I lived in the 1900s, right? Since 1976. They have grown nationally, but they're headquartered right here in East Tennessee, and they love helping people. Whatever your insurance needs are, if you're looking for a local company you can trust and put home on the business like health, Medicare, it's Madison Insurance Group. Please allow me to give you their number: 865-425-7300, 865-425-7300, or visit MIGINSgroup.com.
Isn't that big? Voted one of East Tennessee's best places to play, Patriot Hills Golf Club in Jefferson City. And I don't care what set of tees you play from, it can be a challenger. Great Bermuda fairways, bent grass greens. Careful on the second or third, but Patriot Hills, 2 miles off I-40, exit 417, a great pro shop, and might I say also a mighty fine hot shop. Call 865-475-4466. See you there.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Euphora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Just mix the packet of Euphora with water and drink it when you need support, like right after intimacy. Euphora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at euphora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
Talk, my sponsor and my wireless company are now providing international roaming to over 50 countries. Now, as you plan your summer travel, make sure that your wireless company covers you at home and abroad. Now, you can get unlimited talk and text, plenty of 5G data for just $20 a month. That's less than half the price of Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile for the exact same service. Pound 250, say the keyword save now. Do it now, you save an additional 50% off your first month. Make the switch to Pure Talk so you can afford to travel this summer. You know, since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
This is Dr. Jake from Victory Health Center. Listen to Let's Go Victory Health Radio.